So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're gonna talk about the brand new album by Knocked Loose. It's their third full-length album, and it's called You Won't Go Before You're Supposed to. Great album title, by the way. And this album is 10 tracks, 27 minutes in length. You heard that correctly, 27 minutes. And in 27 minutes, this band carries and does so much in so little time. So I would describe this as 27 minutes of heavy emotion. This is a heavy record. They're not compromising on their sound. And I gotta say, I've listened to Knocked Loose in the past, and I had some mixed feelings. I wasn't like fully in the fanboy or in like, I'm like, yeah, I thought they were decent, but I wasn't fully in. But this album has changed my mind, and now I'm fully in. So Knocked Loose is a band from Louisville, Kentucky. And, they really are a band that can be described, they are like a hardcore band with metalcore. But on this album, something that they do really well is play with atmospherics and different sounds. I would describe this as like a hardcore metalcore with Slipknot Iowa tendencies, because it kind of reminded me in some parts of that album with the aggressiveness and the way that Slipknot also used sounds to incorporate to the music. So yeah, this is an album. There's no ballads here. There's no clean singing. There's no alternative. It's all pure like metallic hardcore from top to bottom. And it's. I was reading about the concept of this record. So apparently, this record there is a concept about like somebody dying in a fatal car crash, and that makes sense because all the songs, there's a lot of like discussion about like faith, and also like people like having remorse of stuff they've done. And usually when you are dying, a lot of people will turn to faith or will convert, to have their souls resurrected and be saved. So very interesting concept. So the album starts with a song called First. And First is a song that, first of all, the first 22 seconds, you hear like some chimes and some sounds. And then the lead singer, Brian Garris, shouts at like the 23-second mark. And it's like, you're like, wow. And it pulls you in. And for like a brief 2 minutes, you get sucked into this world. And it's just like visceral, but also like haunting at the same time. Another standout track is the third track called Suffocate, and that features Poppy. And I'm not a huge fan of Poppy. Sometimes she's hit or miss with her vocals, but on this track, Poppy sounds great. Like there's a part in the song where she like shouts suffocate, and you actually feel like you're suffocating with her. And something that I like about it is that Brian and Poppy trade the singing. And I like it when bands have a guest vocalist and it's part of the song. And I think that it's a great track. I can see why they released it as a single. It's got, even though it's like a hard hitting song, there's kind of like a dancier beat to it, like strangely enough. And I don't know if it's because they had Poppy, because Poppy has done some metal, but also like some type of like dance music, and maybe she incorporated part of her sound to Knocked Loose. So it's interesting. Then they go to another single that they had, and it's called Don't Reach For Me. And the lyrical content on this track is just so hateful. It's about someone like that apparently has done someone wrong, and like when they're like about to like they want to reach out for you, they're like, don't reach for me, motherfucker. Like you're dead to me. It's like, oh. And it has so many breakdowns. But what I like about the breakdowns in this band is that when they do a breakdown in this record, they don't break down and the music stops. Like you have like some weird like effect and noises, which gives the tracks more eeriness to them. Like it's like an eeriness, like death is coming for you. So I thought that was great. Then you have a track that is like 46 seconds called Moose Covers All, and you would think that it's an interlude, but it's not. It's it's like straight in your face, and at the end, it has this like dum dum, like this haunting, soothing tones that go into the next song, Take Me Home. And yeah, that one, I it's like haunting, but also it feels a little bit like ethereal and hopeful a little bit. Even though it feels like a song that it just feels like you're going to like take me home, like you're going to die and you're going somewhere else. So it's great. Then you have a song that features Chris Motionless from Motionless in White. I've never been a fan of Motionless in White. I mostly think they suck, but at least Chris on this track sounds great with Brian from Knock Loose, and I don't think it's as great as the Poppy song, but it's a very good track nonetheless. Then they keep going with the last three tracks. The Calm That Keeps You Awake, great title by the way, and again more like great fast like riffing and breakdowns and different noises that go great. But I think the best track on the record is the single that they released, Blinding Faith. And that song is all about like religion. And mostly it talks about like religion being like forced upon you, and like you have to have your blind faith. There's a line on the song that says bend the knee to your God, and they're like no, I'm not bending the knee to your God. So it's a total like no, I'm not going to follow your blind faith just because you tell me. And I think it's a great track. There's a part in the song where Brian Garris does this like this evil shriek that it sounds like you're trying to be exorcised of your demons, and it's you're like, wow, how did the dude do that? Because it's really fucking amazing. And then the album ends with their longest song on this record, Sit and Mourn, and that's like an almost 5-minute track. And that was kind of like slower and moodier, and I think it sets it sets with the tone, because that track feels like it's the last part of someone actually going to die, and you can only sit and mourn them. And at the end of the song stops and you hear like some noises and beeping, and I'm not sure, but it sounds like the beeping of when you're in a hospital, and the last beep of where your heartbeat stops and you die. And they do this all in 27 minutes. I wasn't a fan of Knock Loose. I thought they were good, but now I gotta tell you, I was blown away by this record. They did to me what Code Orange did back in 2020, when I wasn't a big fan, and they did something that also blew my mind. So I think that the hype is real. Now I can tell why in Coachella there's artists like Billie Eilish and Demi Lovato singing them praises, and they're going to open for Slipknot on their 25th anniversary, which makes sense since this album has like elements that remind me of Iowa by Slipknot, but obviously shorter. But yeah, great album. So what do you think of You Won't Go Before You're Supposed To by Knock Loose? Do you think the hype is warranted? And comment, what are your favorite tracks from this record? I would really want to know. And if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to give me a like, and do not forget to subscribe. That helps me with the YouTube algorithm to get to more people like yourself. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.